Hello and welcome to I'm Not Judging, but the podcast where we, three mums of school-aged kids, dive into the hilarious, chaotic and sometimes questionable world of modern parenting. I'm Bryony May Williams.
I'm Charlie Fuge.
And I'm Vix Wilshire.
We're not experts and we're definitely not perfect, but we are in the thick of it just like you.
From birthday party politics to screen time battles, we're here to say the things you're thinking.
With a healthy dose of humour, honesty and absolutely no judgment. Well, maybe just a little.
Coming up on I'm Not Judging, but today. Yeah, it's not, annoyingly, you don't have the windy windows anymore, do you? Because you can do that quite aggressively, whereas now you just like, button.
Or just start playing like Alanis Morissette on the radio.
It's not fair!
Yeah, so there are safe ways, guys, to
sing your feelings.
Let out your feelings.
We didn't grow up with mobile phones, so this is really helpful as a starting point. I think it's really good.
We did grow up with mobile phones, Charlotte, but they were like
they did not have Facebook on.
They were size of a brick, and they did not have Facebook on, and they had aerials that you could pull out.
So I'd tell her to not worry so much. Also, having a boyfriend is not the be all and end all. There's so much more going on with you, little Vicky. Like.
Hello, gorgeous girls.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing? You all right?
I feel like we're too scared to say it because we're always like, la, la,
Oh my
la,
God.
la, la.
You do?
We're good. It's so nice to see you.
Oh, it is nice to see you as
missed
well.
you.
Ladies,
I
the
missed you
sun is
too.
shining.
Oh my gosh, how
know.
lush is it? And the sun is going to shine all week, apparently.
How
I
lovely is
know.
that?
How amazing is that? How were your Mother's Days,
Yeah,
Charlie? How
lovely.
was
Guess
it?
who I went to go see? Well, who me and Vix went to go see.
Who?
Jess Foster Q. She was amazing. Yeah, she
was
was
so
great. We
great.
went to go see her at Bristol Old Vic. And she was
Oh,
brilliant.
was she
I took my mum.
incredible?
Yeah.
Oh, you
yeah,
took your
me and
mum,
Mumsy.
love. Oh,
She
what did your
loved
mum
it.
think?
Yeah, we loved it. It was really lovely.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
we
so
just had a nice time.
pleased.
It was
Yeah.
so good.
She was fab.
Oh, because did you go with Matt, Vix?
Yeah, I did, and he absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I was meant to come as well, and I was really gutted to miss it. But I wasn't there for a very exciting reason. I was actually in France,
Oui.
in Marseille.
Baguette.
Oh, oui. I was doing some filming for the travel show in Marseille at a competition which is called the Chef
Wow.
Olympics. 100% did not know this was a thing. It's called the Bocuse d'Or. And it's like this really bizarre combination of like really posh cooking, you know, like super fancy, like haute cuisine, like, you know, like
Yeah.
tiny things that are really,
Tiny
you know,
things.
tiny things, you know, Michelin star level food.
Yeah.
And they basically have to cook for like 6 hours and produce these amazing dishes. And there's 20 different countries. It's mega. But then all the supporters, it was like they were at a rugby match. They all had like face paint on and they had like the flags. And then some of them had bands and trumpets and like they had like confetti cannons. And I was
Wow.
like,
God.
this is such a weird like crossover, but it was amazing. It was just, yeah, it was so cool. So I was gutted to miss Jess, but it was really fun too, because languages are my first love. For anyone listening who doesn't know, I used to be a languages teacher, French and Spanish. So to be able to like film in France, speaking in French, it was really, really special. So yeah, it was really,
babe.
really cool.
That's so cool. When's that on?
That won't be on for a while because we've got some more filming to do next week.
Nice.
But yeah, it'll be on. It'll be on at
Nice.
some point. TBC.
Chef Olympics. Who knew?
Chef. I did not. But wow, it was mega. What?
That's
What?
just reminded me. No, because oh God, tenuous link, Olympics. And then I've just wanted to tell you that my little Kimmy Chilcott, my niece, has
Yeah.
been picked for Team GB for
Wow.
acrogymnastics.
Stop
For the
it.
nationals.
That's
I
amazing.
know her, and I know it's amazing. So she is the flyer. She's in a duo with a lovely girl called Shayla, and yeah, they got picked, and it was the news was released last week. So she'll be competing all over the place. I mean, it's amazing.
That is
She is
massive
so amazing. She's the one that like
congratulations.
flies in the sky and stuff. So
Wow.
yeah, it's like
You don't breathe until they're finished. And they're on the ground.
Yeah.
so she's on her feet on the ground.
Oh, that's amazing.
No.
Oh,
That's awesome.
Congrats, Kimmy and
Congrats,
Shayla.
Kimmy and Shayla.
That's lush. What did you do for your Mother's Day, Vix, other than go and see Jess Foster Q?
Well, I was very lucky. I did get breakfast in bed. It was
Oh,
lovely.
lovely.
I know. It was so nice, and I was just like spoilt. It was lovely, actually. I mean, we went on a walk. There was a lot of moaning, standard. That's not even going to change for Mother's Day, you know. But yeah, it was lovely. And then Daisy cooked tea. She made like burgers from scratch and everything.
Stop
so
it.
I know she's so
Trained
she's
her
such a
well.
little angel.
Easy.
I know. So it was
Love
lovely.
that. Oh, lush. Oh, dreamy. We had our Mother's Day the day before because I wasn't here. So we went to Waggers for lunch because we all love a bit of Waggers. And we took my mum, which was really, really nice. And then on the Sunday, I had some lovely pictures through, which I have sent to you guys. Not sure Steve's going to want me to share them on the internet, but of Steve having his makeover done by Nora.
I loved it.
He had full face. And nails. So yeah, I loved
Tell
getting
me
those
you're a
pictures
girl
through.
dad.
I was like, yeah,
without
that's
telling
the
me you're a
reason.
girl dad.
Yeah, I was like that right there. That's the reason I married this man.
Good egg.
Another update. Do you remember the social media ban for under 16s that was being discussed in Parliament? We've talked about it on here, shared it on socials. Well, last week, MPs in the House of Commons have voted against a ban on under 16s using social media, which initially I was like, no, come on, like this is such a big deal. But having read further into it, what they're actually voting on was to have it to be part of an amendment to the Children's Wellbeing in School Bill. So instead of doing that, they've opted for, so instead of rushing it through, a public consultation period, which is live now. And there are 3 surveys where you can offer up your opinion. So there's one for anyone, there's one for parents and carers, and there's one for children to have their say too, which is really important, I think. So they're live now. So if anyone wants to get involved, and I do think this is a really important thing to do, and I think it's important to get the kids involved in as well.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to sit down and do the parents one and then look through the children one with Nora and kind of, let her answer it honestly.
That's such a good
I think
idea.
it's important. Yeah, it's important. But yeah, how do you guys feel about this, Charlie?
I think I'll do the same, to be honest. I think it's really good that you've got the consultation period. I think it's good that they're not just rushing because then hopefully from that it will be well thought out rather than, like you say, being rushed through.
And I suppose
Yeah,
everyone's perspective taken into account. It's great that they've got like a survey for the kids as well, because I had a chat with Daisy about this last night, and she's not on anything I would call like a social media platform, like, so she doesn't have Instagram or TikTok or anything like that. But she said to me, you do realise, Mum, that if there's a complete ban, that's like for things like WhatsApp as well. And I was like, oh, I hadn't, and Pinterest, which she loves. So it opened a discussion with us about that. And I was like, she was like, I really love, creating my Pinterest boards and researching things. And that's how she kind of finds like stuff about clothes and about new bands she likes and collates that information. So it really gave me a different perspective on it she's coming up to 14. She's 14 next month. So it's just, again, probably a couple of years ago, I would have been more like, absolutely not. But as it's an ongoing conversation that we have to have. And it's really important that we keep those lines of communication open with the kids and involve them in this.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you say, but those are the kind of comments that you can put into, I'd imagine, there will be, I would hope, I haven't looked at it properly yet, but that there will be something in there where you can give feedback like that. What about you, Charles? How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, that's why they're going to need that consultation process, right? Because you wouldn't even think like that when you think of social media. Instantly Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, those types of things which are scarier. But then Pinterest, Yeah, I agree. It's creative. It's I don't feel like it's harmful in the same way, and I wouldn't want a complete ban.
Well, I think sort of hopefully the consultation, which if you do want to go online and have your say, you can go on the government website. We'll post the link on our socials. But, you know, it could vary what happens in terms of, you know, the end result. So things like it could be a complete ban on under 16s using social media, could be age restrictions on certain platforms, could be limits on addictive features like autoplay, and restrictions to stop children bypassing controls with VPNs. So, you know, things like that, which to me all sound great. But I just hope that they put the time and the effort and the care and the consideration into this, because something needs to be done.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think I have faith that that's what will come out of it. Something. Yeah. What that is, I don't know.
And it's getting the parents and carers involved in the conversation and educating them as well, because we can't just rely on the government to look after our kids on the internet. We need to play an active role in knowing what is going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And Charlie, you've had your ear to the ground this week.
Yeah, it's a big one, actually. We're branching out with the earwigging this time, and it's overheard on the street.
Oh, nowhere's safe from us.
Yeah.
Hot tub street, playground, you can't get away. We're always listening. We're always listening. Amazing. And we've got a news story about a content creator who's helping parents lock down their kids' phones. We will delve into her tips later.
Plus, some emails have come in from our lovely listeners looking for our very unqualified advice. And we'll be diving into those later in the show.
Lovely. But first, Overheard in the Playground. Each week, we bring you something we've heard through the grapevine, and this week is no exception. Like we said, nowhere is safe. So, Charlie, what have you heard?
There was a mum and daughter, and they were in the car, and they were at like a T-junction, so they were stopped, but they were like in the car, and they were having an argument, like a really shouty argument.
Oh.
And and the daughter got out the car. The shock on your faces. Got out of the car at the T-junction and said, I'm 13, I can live my own life, you know, and slammed the door. And I was like shouting at her mum and slammed the door and ran off. Yeah, and then the mum then pulled over and then ran after her daughter. And then they were having a bit of a disagreement, but then they ended up hugging and, you know, making amends or what have you. But it did make me kind of think, ladies, did you ever have arguments like that with your parents? Was it ever that heated when you were that age and going through puberty?
Oh, yeah.
Vix is nodding. Come on, Vix, tell us. Tell us about 13-year-old Vix. Come on.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was just very... It did get heated. I think as I got into kind of mid-teens, kind of 14, 15, 16, and it's just hard, isn't it? You're just like, when I think now, being my age now and thinking where my mum probably was in the perimenopause or something, you know, as well. I've got a lot more kind of sympathy. And I was obviously going through puberty, and like things did get loud and shouty, and I, you know, pack my bags and I'm leaving, and then I'd be like, I'm not. But it happens, and it's horrible. And like, you know, I do try and not let it get to that point with the kids, but you know, sometimes, you know, you lose it a little bit, and then you have to kind of rein it back in, and it's what you do afterwards, isn't it? So the fact that she got out the car, she must have been so frightened, lover, and then run after her daughter, and then they ended up cuddling, and that's the bit that is the important bit, you know, how you recover from these things, and we're all just trying our best. And you know, like we've said before, there's no manual, is there? Like, you don't know what went on in the car, what's happened.
You don't know what happened. You don't know the ins and outs of why they were fighting. But then I do think to myself that for something like that, once they've calmed down and once you've made amends, I think I'd be saying, look, safety first. However cross you are with me, can you not run out of the car at a junction
on the road?
Because that then becomes a safety issue. But I would be saying that when it's a lot calmer.
Yeah, absolutely. Because having it out in the moment,
it's not going to be
that child's not going to take it on anyway.
No.
So like you say, it's that kind of like calming afterwards and just sort of talking it through. I never really argued with my mum. What we would do is we'd go very quiet. So like,
oh really?
Yeah, it was kind of like the opposite. So like if mum was mad at me, which I've got to say didn't happen too often, because I was like such a keener. Like I did, I smoked and things like that, but like I never really did anything super naughty that she was aware of. So like I remember once when she caught me smoking when I was about 13 and she like wouldn't talk to me for like a day and a half.
That's sometimes worse. I know, like being like cold shouldered.
Yeah. And I was like,
horrible.
I don't like it. But then I'd kind of go silent as well and be like, so that's
two can play that game.
Yeah, two can play that game. And I'm just not an argumentative person. So like even now, if like Steve and I have a tiff, which we don't have tiffs, but like if there's something that we're kind of disagreeing on or there's a thing between us, we'll both just kind of go quite quiet and then like just sort of like, I don't know, just be kind of a little bit awkward with each other for a few hours and then be like, do you want a cup of tea? And then like that's it, kind of like move it on.
I'm the opposite of that.
But yeah, I'm not
a
like
fighter.
Are you?
Yeah.
Me
like,
too, child.
Yeah.
Fighter.
I feel like I've got all of the I feel like all of my emotions are felt strongly. So if I'm sad, I'm really sad. If I'm angry, I'm livid. If I'm, like I've got full commitment to my feelings, honestly. Full commitment.
But I can definitely like now as a parent see it from the parent side. Sort of when you're a teenager, it's so hard. You've got all these emotions that you don't understand and all these hormones that just take over your body. And now I feel like that's happening again, but with perimenopause.
Yeah.
So like I have so much sympathy for people going through this at a young age, but also for the women going through it at our age. I remember my mum went through the menopause. I thought she was absolutely I thought she was completely bananas.
Yeah.
And now I look back, I think, oh, poor mum.
Yeah,
must have been really hard.
Yeah. And
so
nobody was talking about it.
Yeah,
you do, don't you?
So,
and it's just, you're just scared. You just want them to be safe. And
exactly. So I think I completely agree with what you said, Char. I'm not judging, but safety first. Don't jump out of the lights.
Stay in the car.
And be livid with me in the car.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just like maybe like slam like the little air vents or something if you need to slam something.
Just put the window up and down aggressively.
Yeah, it's not, annoyingly, you don't have the windy windows anymore, do you? You could do that quite aggressively, whereas now you just like button. That's it.
Or just start playing like Alanis Morissette on the radio.
It's not fair!
Yeah.
When you went away. Yeah.
It's you!
Yeah. So there are safe ways, guys.
Safe
to
ways.
Sing your feelings.
Let out your feelings. Now it's time for In the News, where we unpack the stories shaping modern parenting, from gentle parenting to Velcro parenting to Fafo parenting, my personal favourite. Who knows if we're doing it right? I don't. However, someone who is trying to help parents this week is content creator Louise Boyce, aka Mama Still Got It, from another parenting podcast. We don't talk about other parenting podcasts, do we? Surely not. No Parental Guidance. Louise has produced a really simple digital guide for parents to help them lock down their kids' phones and lock down the internet at home to help keep our kids safe. So it's basically got like each kind of app or website, and then it gives you all the instructions of how to lock it down. So yeah, you can put on the parental settings on almost all of them. So, I mean, I'm not judging, but this is really helpful, and it is very, very easy to read. And I think it is good to have as much information out there as possible. So yeah, I think it's helpful. I do. And I think it's important. She's got a really big platform and she's using it for good. Do you think parents will look at it and take it on board?
I hope so, because I think, like you said, it's quite, it's concise, isn't it? And it's quite easy to follow.
Yeah.
And I think it's great that she's using, like you said, using her platform to put this on. And she will get lots of people read it, I think, definitely. But I think we just need to bear in mind, like we said earlier on when we were talking about the law being put through for no social media for under 16s, we need to take responsibility ourselves, and we can't just rely on these things that we put in place. So like, it's great, those are all of the things that you can do safety wise on these apps, but also I mean, they're not going to be using Facebook and Instagram for much longer. There's so many new things that you don't realize are coming through that they're using, and I think again we have to be engaged and active about our involvement in it and keep the conversations with our kids going. So put all of those things in place for safety, but be aware that, you know, there's ways around them. You know,
and kids are really freaking clever.
Yeah, and they will. They're cleverer than us.
Yeah, so much cleverer than us, and they know so much more than we do.
Yeah.
And they will find a way around it because kids will do that. So, like you say, it's. I mean, we need to be as educated as possible. Yeah. And things like that what Louise has put out is great because it is really educational.
Definitely.
And like you say, it's just keeping on top of that.
Yeah.
And, you know, even now...
I think it's a good place to start. You know what I mean? It's a good starting point.
Yeah.
Because I would have no clue.
Definitely.
So for someone like me, I think as well, like, we didn't grow up with mobile phones. So this is really helpful. As a starting point, I think it's really good.
We did grow up with mobile phones, Charlotte, but they were like
they did not have Facebook on.
They were size of a brick, and they did not have Facebook on, and they had aerials that you could pull out. I've already started. Like, Nora's 10, and I have no plans on getting her a phone, you know, in the near future, and especially not social media. And I'm already starting to talk to her about, you know, if and when you do get a phone, that doesn't mean that you get social media with it. It might just be messages. It might just be calls. Because social media, and I've already started planting the whole, you know, social media can be a dangerous place. There's a lot of misinformation out there. People can bully you online. You know, you're not going to have your phone in your bedroom at night. All this kind of stuff now, even though it's not going to happen for a few years, because I don't want it, when it does happen, for her to be like, what? What do you mean?
Absolutely. Explaining like the benefits are great, but they can also be, you know, abused.
Yeah. And I don't mind scaring her a bit about it. Like, I don't mind making her understand social media can be a really freaking scary place. Like, people can be horrible to people online. And I've said, you know, I've explained to her that, you know, I've been trolled online about my disability, about my laugh, about, you know, all sorts of weird shit. But like, and explaining to her that people are horrible to other people online. And that's
and manipulative.
And I think it's important that they know that side of it.
If you're going to let your child on something like Roblox or TikTok, and again, you can put all the safety features you want in place. Sometimes you can get around them, and you need to, you know, build strong children who are aware of what could happen. You know, because you don't know, they might change something in the background, IT-wise, and that feature that you've tried to put in place is gone now, and that safety net has gone now. You still need to have these conversations about online grooming, even if you think, you know, at 10 they're too young. But if you're going to let them on a platform like that, you need to have those really important conversations.
Yeah. And I've actually already said to Nora, I was like, that phone isn't going to be yours. If I want to take that phone off you and read through all your messages and look at all your apps, I don't have to ask you. Like, sorry, but maybe when you get a bit older, say when you're maybe, you know, 15, 16, and you're a little bit more mature and, you know, your brain's a little bit, you know, a bit more understanding of what's going on. But I'm not having, you know, I know obviously things can change. It's all well and good saying it before it actually happens.
I know, but it's an ongoing conversation, Bri.
Exactly. But I want her to sort of start understanding now that I'm not going to apologise for invading what she might consider her privacy if I think there's any kind of risk
something going on
for her safety.
I think also,
but she can hate me for it. But
it's also, I think with things like that, is also so important to have the trust as well. So, for example, if they get messaged by a number that they don't recognise, the fact that they can come and tell you,
Yeah.
and then you can block it, you can you can change that. If they get, a message on Roblox or something, like a message on a platform, they know that they have to tell you and things like that, because Darcy's 12, nearly 13 now, and I wouldn't take her phone and look at her messages. I wouldn't do that. And I think that it's because we've developed that level of, she's had her phone now for a little while, where we've developed, I want to say, that level of trust, where I feel like if there was something going on where she was getting messaged unkindly or something that she couldn't handle, she would be able to talk to me about it. And I think, it's like that, or like you say, getting a message on a platform like Roblox or something like that they come and talk to you about it, so then you can shut it down, report it, and do what you need to do.
Definitely. And then reevaluate and talk to them about it. And that trust with Darcy has grown. Yeah, even if it is. And that's something that we've said as well. We're not, if like with the WhatsApp, I mean, we're really lucky. Daisy's just like, she doesn't like being involved in any of the big WhatsApp groups and stuff, because that's what worries me, is the bullying and the footage that they send each other sometimes. We're lucky she's just like, I'm not interested. But it was something that we were like, like you said, Bri, we were like, if we feel that this is getting out of hand and affecting your mental health, and we've had ongoing conversations about, like she was saying last night, when she first got it, she was just like, my screen time was so high, we didn't know what we were doing. And then we were like, shit, we've trusted her too much. Not trusted her too much. We've put that responsibility on her when it should have been us. So then we changed things, and we were like, right, we need to sit down, just have a little chat. So I was saying to parents, when you give them something like this, do not be afraid to calmly sit down and say, look, we've discovered that this isn't really working for us, and we're seeing an effect on you and your behaviour or your well-being. She'd stopped drawing and stuff, and I was like, oh God, she's just on there too much. I didn't know what to do. And then we changed it and things got better, and she felt better and she understood. So, it's keeping those,
ever-evolving,
like we always say, ever-evolving conversation, and not just shutting things down and building fences around them, because they'll just knock them down anyway and find a way.
They will always find a way.
They'll find a way.
Okay, so for anyone who wants the guide, we will share a link where you can download it on our socials. Now, for our next news story, the headline reads, I don't know if I'm saying this right, matrescence isn't in the dictionary, but Delulu is. And it says a lot about how we view motherhood. This is from the HuffPost. You know how much we love talking about new words. We had
that's so tricky when we don't even know the words we should know.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like our names.
So we've got another word here. This isn't a new word, but basically it's an old word that brands like Peanut, which is a community app for mums, and parenting brand Tommy Tippy are seeking to change. They've started a campaign to get the word matrescence in the dictionary. It describes the process of becoming a mother. It's all the physical, psychological, and emotional changes you go through after the birth of a child. Even though it was coined by anthropologist Dana Raphael in the 1970s, it still hasn't made it to some major dictionaries. 67%. We're so cringe. I love it. 67% of British mothers have never even heard the term matrescence. Have you heard of it, girls?
I have not.
I had not,
No. Leaving them to navigate one of the most significant transitions of their lives without the language to describe it. So obviously we've got things like delulu, ghosting, and selfie in the dictionary, but we haven't got the word for matrescence. So, what do we think about this, girls?
I thought the article was really good, and it was the explanation of the change, the prolific change that happens after you have a child, and how you just, I feel,
you're
not
altered.
Judging that. I quite like the fact that there maybe is a word that can encompass that, because it is, I think, that period of time in your life, like in the article, you've got mastitis, you're trying to breastfeed, you don't know what to do. It's your life goes from like 0 to 100, and there's so much that goes on, and society expects women to just be able to get on with it. And and there's not an awful lot of kind of support. We're very lucky. We've got lovely supportive husbands and families, but it's such a change. And for some women, it's such a
shift.
A mental health change. It's such a shift. And I'm not going to lie, when I look back, I think after having Daisy, I was definitely postnatal, and I was so desperate to just enjoy it and love every minute of it. And it was such a shift.
I feel like you'll never be the same again, though. Like, you'll never be the person that you were before becoming a mum. You never go back to that, not ever, because just the voice in your head is constant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before you had kids, you'd go for a walk, the end. Whereas I feel like now you'd go for a walk, but you wouldn't necessarily be concentrating on just that. Your head is full of lovely things, worry, all of the things, but it's constant. You have altered permanently. Yeah.
It's so funny you saying about walking. I've implemented a weekly walk on my own for my own mental health. Just so and it's so true. And I had to fight today. I went on my lovely walk today in the sunshine, and I had to fight all of the thoughts of, I've got to fill out an e-consult for Prim, and I've got and I was like, no, look at the flowers, look at the sky, and you're right. It's really hard, that kind of mother load. And I think especially it's such a tender time, that transition, and I personally, I know what you mean. I'll sign the petition. I think there are lots of things that we can worry about, but I think it's kind of nice that there's
You've got
word
my
that
vote,
can
Vix.
somehow encompass that.
I agree that I think it's nice to have a word. Like, I genuinely think it's nice to have a word. What slightly bothers me is that I feel like sometimes people come up with a cause,
like a label,
a thing to not even a label. No, like the whole I want to get this word put in the dictionary, just to have a kind of campaign or something to sort of focus on. It almost feels a bit more like a PR thing rather than an actual, I don't know, it just feels a little bit, when I look at the world and I look at everything that's going on, I think, is this really something that someone like Tommy Tippy, which is a massive brand, couldn't they maybe be putting that time, that effort, that money that's probably going into this campaign towards something free more formula. Free formula, childhood poverty, kids that are starving around the world. I don't know. It just feels to me like this is a bit of a, let's make a campaign about this word. And of course it's important. Becoming a mother is the most wonderful thing that's ever happened to me. And you're absolutely right. It's completely changed who I am. Yeah. And yes, okay, having a word would be nice, but just, I don't know, it just feels like...
Also, we've got the word.
Yeah, you don't need it to be in the dictionary.
Okay, now it's time for Between You and Me, where our listeners share their parenting predicaments and we share our unqualified advice. First off, we have an email from Katie in Berkshire. Hi, ladies. More of a question for you than asking advice. I'm currently trying to educate my teenage daughter on how life experience can give someone wisdom, i.e. me. So I was wondering if you could talk to your teenage self. What advice would you give her and why?
So nice.
And that's to all of you. Such a nice question.
Lovely.
Oh, what advice would you give your teenage self? We were talking about our teenage selves earlier. What would you say to that girl if you could now?
I'm going to jump in.
All right, go on then.
I would say stop trying to please everyone. That is a big one that I would go back. And I remember that I was such a people pleaser to my core, and I think it's lovely to be lovely, but not when your existence is determined on somebody else's good or bad mood. You shouldn't put that on. That's not somebody else's responsibility. Your happiness is your own, and you shouldn't try and people please so much. So that
I'm going to jump on that one too. Yes, Charles.
And then I would say
definitely.
as well to be a little bit more independent, self-aware, a bit more independent. So what I mean by that is learning the value of money at that sort of age. You're going out, you're buying something from the shop, something like that, and then thinking, do I really want it? Because if you're willing to spend your own money on it, then the answer might be yeah. But if, my kids will be like, oh, Mum, can you? And I'm like, well, you can easily spend my money. But if you're not willing to spend your own, do you really want it? And the value of money? Because I think as we grow up, the cost of living, paying rent, paying your mortgage, all of these things, start implementing them from a young age and learning that value of money.
Very practical advice. I like
I've covered all bases, guys.
You have. I love that.
My last one would be to hug my dad, because as you guys know, he passed away a couple of years ago, and I miss him.
Tell the people you love that you love them.
Yeah,
and hug
them more.
Tight. Yeah,
hug them
definitely.
Lots more.
Well, those are 3 excellent ones, Charlie. What about you, Vix?
Well, it's very similar. And actually, thank you, Charlie, because I'm taking all of that advice today. Adult Vicky needed to hear that. Don't be so afraid of making mistakes. I just think I've really, again, the people pleasing, and I'm still working on that now. And the little mistakes that I used to make, I just overthink so much and spend way too long worrying. So I'd tell her to not worry so much. Also, having a boyfriend is not the be all and end all. There's so much more going on with you, little Vicky. Just go and enjoy yourself and don't get so hung up on what other people thought of me. I used to, I worried so much about what everyone thought of me, and I just wanted everyone to like me, and I'm still a bit like that now, but I tell her to have more confidence, stop looking at your flaws in the mirror, don't be so afraid to make mistakes, and just go for it, because you're amazing. Teenage Vicky, you're a lush.
Love that. I think sort of mine would follow on from both of yours. Very much the people pleaser scenario, and it keeps popping up on my feed, and I love it, and I'm sticking by it, because I always want to be kind in life, and I've wanted that from being a young kid, and it's definitely comes from my mum and my nan. But there's a thing that says you can be kind and still tell people to F off when necessary, and I was like, love 100%. That. It's okay to have boundaries and be like, yes, I am being kind. And I think that absolutely, feeds into the people pleaser thing, because I've always been, same as you guys, such a people pleaser. But, and you can, look out for other people and be kind to other people, but also build that wall and shut that down if you need to. Yeah. And I think this is maybe a little bit niche to me, but I think you can apply it to anyone who sees something as a flaw or, a difference, in that I have, from a very young age, always felt the need to, not openly necessarily, but in my head, apologize for my hand. Does that make sense? Not for my disability. I've always felt like I should be embarrassed or ashamed of it. And I'm almost kind of apologizing to the world for having that difference, for having that disability. Just don't do that. If you look different, if you feel different, don't feel the need to apologize to the world around you, whether you're voicing it or just, how you're feeling, because you have absolutely nothing to apologize for. And seeing the young people today who've got limb differences, disabilities, who are so unapologetically themselves, and I'm like, fuck yes, this.
Well
more
said,
of this, please.
Love. Definitely.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, well, we hope that was useful,
what
Katie.
A lovely email.
Let us know.
That's so nice.
Really nice email.
Yeah.
More of those.
Yeah. If there's a parenting drama or dilemma you want our unqualified wisdom on, then send us a DM or voice note on Instagram. You'll find us at I'm Not Judging But Pod. And don't forget, you can watch us on YouTube and Spotify. Thanks so much, gorgeous girls. I love you very much.
Thank you.
Have a great week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.
Love you.